do the I'll shut off his mortal coil. Obviously this doesn't go anywhere, fellas.
Yeah, roger, mate.
I've just broken the convention.
Yeah, roger.
Well, here are Claire and Alexander Blackman talking to our correspondent Clinton Rogers this morning about what it feels like to be out of prison.
Good, very good. I think for anybody who's not been in or spent time in prison, it's hard to really explain how good it is. But just the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. You know, you feel like going outside for 5-10 minutes, you can. You feel like staying out for the whole day, you can. It's just, it's a really good feeling.
Mrs. Blackman, you often have said to me in the past, you wondered if this day would ever come. How do you feel right now?
It's really here. We did it. And I did often wonder if it would ever come, but it took a long time to sink in. I didn't quite believe it, but now he's home. It's wonderful.
You've already described her as a wife in a million.
Yes. I mean, you know, what can you say to someone that sticks by you through something like this? And not only that, but spends the last 3.5 years, you know, fighting to get you out.
I need to take you to that point when I think you yourself have described it as a moment of madness. You've had plenty of time to reflect on it. What do you think now?
I don't think my view's changed. It's still, don't know why exactly I did it. It's still a moment of madness, I think, is the best description I can give. Yeah, it's not exactly the proudest moment of my life when I look back on that.
Why did you do it?
I really couldn't tell you. I don't. Like I say, I've spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I haven't got a definitive answer.
If that situation arose again, and I know it must be an almost impossible question to answer, how would you react again? Or can you not say because it was in the heat of battle? It's
such a unique circumstances and in a unique area of the world. Like I say, the likelihood of that, me ever finding myself in that position again, is so remote, it's almost comical. Yes, so it's really, can't really answer how I'd act, because I don't think that's ever likely to happen again.
Mrs. Blackman, you've had to sit and watch the fallout of it. How do you feel about the decision that your husband made?
It's not for me to judge. I have no concept of just how incredibly stressful it must have been out there. I've used the phrase before, and I am putting words into his mouth, I realise, but I feel personally fairly certain that, you know, if he had a time machine and could go back and do things differently, he absolutely would. But, you know, we don't have access to such things, and what is done, and now we have the chance to move on, and we're looking forward to doing that.
Is that a fair assessment for you?
Yeah, I think hindsight is a wonderful thing, and given especially what's happened to us in our life, if you could go back, you would change things and perhaps do things different.
I mean, I have to say, and forgive me for pushing this point, the helmet camera, the video, the audio implies you knew perfectly well what you were doing.
Yes, and I think, and that's the trouble, what we've found with that, it's a 5-minute section of an incident that took well over an hour. And to be fair, you can put quite a few different spins on what's said. And unless you were actually there, you don't know the full story. Obviously, I told my version of events when I was at trial, along with the other guys that were there. I'm content that what I told was my belief at the time. If other people have other views, you know, they're well and entitled to do that. So,
moving on to the trial.
Yes.
I know you were led to believe it was all going to be okay.
Yeah.
You never really thought it would end up as a murder conviction.
No, you just, I mean, having never worked through the legal system at the time, You take the advice given, and when you're getting told that things are positive, I mean, they weren't singing, dancing, and saying it's a guaranteed thing, but we were sort of given advice that things were going our way.
There are critics suggesting that the military hung you out to dry. Can I ask you both, is that how you feel about it?
It's not really for me to say. I mean, again, you don't know. I don't know all the facts and particulars that have gone on, and it'd be wrong to start proportioning blame to certain people when I don't know those facts.
What about you, Mrs. Blackman?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, there are lots of questions that I personally have that remain unanswered, but that's all they are. And as I said before, this is our chance now to move forward, and that's what we're going to do.